What's up, guys? William from Deuteronomy with another video, guys. Let me tell you about the story about the red pill sexual market value. Everybody has seen this story in sitcoms where, teenagers are in high school and, you got the jocks, you got the cheerleader, and then you got the dork. And, the dork is usually a guy in his 60s and 70s. He's 16, 17, 18, and the cheerleader is same thing, most attractive woman, girl in the video or the episode, and then the jock is usually the built, muscular guy. Now everybody has heard this story. Now Paulina, she's she probably laughed at this story when she was in her 50s, 60s, but now that she is 56, she's not laughing no more. What happens is a lot of time is these teenagers, 15, 16, 17, these dorks, these nerds, these geeks, when they're young, they show no value. They're not attractive. They're invincible to women. And same thing with the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders are usually the most attractive women, and they're adorned by all the men, and all the men are chasing after them. And cheerleader picks who they think is the best man, which is the football player, the athletic guy, well-built, muscular guy, as the most attractive person. But later on, to find out that both of these people, the cheerleader and the jock, lack personality. So what happens is a lot of times the nerd, geek, and dork at 15, 16 years old, he's invisible, shows no value to the sexual market value. But when he hits 35, 35 years old, he becomes like the richest guy, and he goes back to the school reunion, and he goes back and see those same people in their 30s and 40s, and he comes back as a wealthy billionaire that's now being chased by these cheerleaders who now have, you know, 3 children, single mothers, overweight, and probably poor. And then go and see the same jocks, and the same jocks are overweight because they never made it to the football league. They didn't make any money. Maybe they got injured, and now they're poor, and nobody's looking at them. But that's how the world works sometimes. That at one time you're winning, and then next thing you know, you're losing. And that's what happens in this story. This 56-year-old model, supermodel, who won the genetic lottery. The genetic lottery of being one of the most beautiful women in the world. And as 16, 18, supermodel, she was getting millions of dollars offered for her, and she had the opportunity to, trap a high value man. And that's what a lot of these attractive women, they all trap a high value man. So now this lady, what happens a lot of time, especially at this time, a lot of these attractive women, and when they get to 50s, 60s, they want to divorce their man, take the money, and run. Just like Dr. J and Nicole Young. Nicole Young is, she's starting to get, 50s, 60s. She want to trap Dr. Dre's money, run with it so he can go off with some young guy. But that's not the case with Paulina Parizkova. She is discovering now in her 50s and 60s that she is invisible to the men that she wanted before. And this is when she takes the red pill of reality, of how the world actually works. You see, women and men are never equal. Men are have to make their value, and their value is based on providing and protecting. And women's value is based on femininity, cooking, cleaning, nurturing, and most importantly, their beauty. See, a lot of these women, 50, 60 years old, they're born at the top of the sexual market value, the 8, 9, and 10, because that's where all the men want the young women who are 19, 20, 21. That's where the beauty is at their highest. So when these women are at their highest, they're able to get the men at their highest over here, which are men that are high value men, that are well established, have money and job, car, and house. And these women, they're 18, 19, 20, and all they had to do was win the genetic lottery. So they start at the top with the genetic lottery and pick up all the guys that are high value men. But with guys in their same age group, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, those guys, start off with no value and they're invisible to these high value women because of their beauty. But what's happened is these guys at the bottom, they realize early on that they need to make their value. So they study hard, they get good jobs, and as they go along in life, they start to progress as value, and then they become the high value man in their 30s and 40s. But what happens with women is women, their beauty starts to fade. So as years go down, they start going down in value. So you can see that women are up here in their teenage years at the top of the sexual market value, and guys are at the bottom here. And as time goes by, they intersect around 35, and then the men go up in value. But with men, as long as you can maintain your high value status, it plateaus and you stay. So you can pick up young women in their 20s and 30s, even though you're 50 and 60. But with women, as soon as they become 40, they start going down in value and they cannot pick up the same guys that they used to when they were young. And that's what this lady, this supermodel, is now realizing. The red pill that Kevin Samuels is explaining to everyone. So what happens is women at the age of 18 have 20 years to trap a guy, have kids, get married, and that's how it was back in the old days. But a lot of these women now, 60, 70, 80% are getting divorced at the worst time of their lives, which is 50, 60. Because now if you get divorced at that middle age and you're trying to get another high value man, all the high value men that are 30, 40, 50 are looking for women that are teenagers, 19, 20. They're no longer looking for women in their age group. They're looking for women with beauty if they're in the high value range. So the same guys that she could get in her, you know, in her teenage, she cannot get them now, and that's what she's upset with right now. So let's go ahead and I'll share this story with you guys because this is the red pill in a nutshell. I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can see this. There we go, and there we go. All right, so this is the lady. A 56-year-old model is upset with men. They walk away to hit on someone 20 years longer. Well, what can I say? Kevin Samuels was right. Danger zone! Well, you see, Paulina Parizkova, 56-year-old former supermodel, is upset with men who no longer find her attractive. Well, women's number one goal is their beauty and to maintain it by not doing drugs, not having multiple babies by multiple baby daddies, making sure they keep their beauty up, keeping themselves fit, feminine, and friendly. That is how they're based on. Men and women are not equal, once again, even though, they try to make them equal. But in terms of sexual market value, it has nothing to do with politically correct. It all has to do with biology. And this woman was benefiting in her early teenage years from this. And now she is upset that she is getting hurt by the same metric that she was judged by. She is now getting seen as invincible, as like the dorks and the geeks when they were 16 years old, they were invincible. Now she is getting that same type of treatment, and she's upset. So there's nothing you can do about this. So this is what she says. For most of Paulina's life, she was seen as the most beautiful woman in the world. But by now, at the age of 56, well, look at all these wrinkles. When it's a white woman, just add an extra 10 years to it. Really, she's looking like she's 66, you know? So now her Paulina husband, who is now deceased, left her before separation and eventual divorce. A lot of these women, they want to go to divorce 70, 80%, thinking that they can find another high value man. And here she is, still can't find a high value man that she could. According to her, he has lost interest in her before marriage ended. And now that she's single, she's having trouble finding men who are interested in dating her. Now, the reason why the guy lost interest in her, a lot of you guys, a lot of men, put up with women in their teenagers when they have won the genetic lottery and they look beautiful and they're attractive. Guys at that age, high value men, put up with a lot and they put up with a lot of these women's nonsense with their bad behavior because they know they look good and they're acting like divas, prima donnas. They have a lot of bad behaviors. They probably can't cook, they can't clean. All they do is they just show up in a bikini, and you enjoy them for a couple of minutes. But after a couple of minutes, it's like they don't know how to carry a conversation. They don't know how to talk. They have, they don't have a job, nothing really to talk about, to relate to. So you just keep them there as a trophy wife. But then when the lady becomes around 35, 40, and you're no longer see her as attractive, as a trophy wife, that's when you really see what this lady is like, and you can no longer put up with her bad behavior, her diva ways, her overspending, her shopping, her bad attitude. And that is when the guy's eyes opens up. It was blurred by love, love is blind and the beauty. But now, as you become older, you start to find out that Paulina Parizkova has nothing to offer really, other than her beauty. Never got a job, never got a career. You never worked on the intangible. Probably can't cook, can't clean, and she gets divorced, and this is what you end up with. But a lot of guys see the high value man are going to look at her and pass her over for 20 something because that's what they're looking for, and they're willing to put up with their bad attitude and their juvenile behavior. But as you get older, you're supposed to work on your intangibles to keep the guy, and to keep the guy by cooking well, nurturing the children, taking care of the house, taking care of him. But if you don't work on any of those intangibles, the guy as he gets older is not going to put up with your nonsense and get rid of you. So now Paulina is calling herself a feminist. That's interesting. And is blasting men for age isms. Okay, let's stop right there. Feminist. When she calls herself a feminist, that means she finds men and women equal. Okay? Now let's look at her as through feminist eyes. Paulina. If Paulina was a man, if Paulina was a man and had no career, no job, no money, the only money that she got it was from divorce, so that doesn't count. And no job, no career, probably can't cook, no clean, doesn't have any other important skills. Most women will find this guy a bum, a scrub. But it's only because she is a woman with a lot of beauty that she's getting away with this type of lifestyle. So now she gets upset that with the same benefits and the genetic lottery that she won, that now, as your beauty fades, now we get to judge you as who you truly are. So she can't be a feminist. She's just upset that she can't enjoy the same thing that she used to when she was in 20s. Now she actually has to go out and get a job at McDonald's. She actually has to go and get a career, go to school and study like the rest of the people and build your own value. And she's blasting men for ageism. Look, when she was in her 20s, she was married to a rich guy in her 40s. She wasn't complaining then. She's only complaining now because the same high value men in their 40s are not picking her and they're going with half her age. So, she out here crying and saying she just trying to throw any type of word in here. Oh, now that I'm completely invisible, Parizkova explained. I walk into a party, I try to flirt with guys, and they would just all walk away from me from mid-sentence to pursue someone 20 years younger. I'm very single. I'm dressed up. I made an effort. Nothing. All y'all trying to act. She's trying to act sorry for herself. Some women says it kicks in at 40. Others, when they finally let themselves go, great. Virginia Woolf described the phenomenon in Miss Dalloway's 1925 book, Age 43. In 2005, 47-year-old Kate Bush summed it up in How to Be Invisible with the lyrics. Now, these women all have different words for it. The mainstream word for it is red pill knowledge. She has just taken the red pill. She has realized how the world really is, and that the world for men and women is not equal. Men in their 16, 18, 20 have to build their value to become attractive and visible to women who are their 16, 18, who are just born with the lottery, don't have to do anything else but to just look pretty with a bikini and a smile, and pick up high value men just off the top. They don't have to do anything, just show up. They don't have to do anything. And now they're upset that now they have to do something about it when they're over in their 50s and have to do what all the guys who they rejected as geeks and dorks, and now they're the ones who are telling them to go away. You see? And then now she's crying again with another thing. It's a slow fade, agrees Parakovas. Like the boiled frog, you don't know until you're gone. It was around the same time my marriage fell apart. My husband was no longer interested in me, and I was started looking around, and I realized I was invisible to the population at large. Well, you were invisible to the people that you wanted, but now you can't get them anymore because that's how Mother Earth is sometimes. It made me feel really terrible about myself. Now look at it. In 1984, at 18 years old, Parakovas became the first Central European woman to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And now this is what she looks like. That's why a lot of guys are just passing her up. And she is now understanding the red pill knowledge and what Kevin Samuels is talking about. So she has now entered the danger zone. Danger zone! So now, in 1988, she earned what was then the highest paying model contract ever. A $6 million contract with Estee Lauder. She was part of the judging panel of America's Next Top model in cycles 10 to 12. This is what she used to look like. So you see, that's what she used to look like. But that's the problem now. When you're born with a genetic lottery and you don't have to do anything, no one's expecting you to do anything, but you get handed to you everything. See, like when women become attractive and they go to the candy shop, they go to the candy shop and the shopkeep owner allows her to go and sample all of the candies that she wants for free because of her beauty. But the same guy that walked into the candy shop, this shopkeeper now puts prices on all of the candies. So when you're young as a guy, you don't have any money, and all the shopkeeper can give you is the cheapest stuff, the cheap candies, $5 candies, and that's all you've been snacking on. That's the type of women that you get. You get low value women in your early 20s. But then as you build value at 35 to 40, you go back to that same shopkeeper. He still got those prices there, but now you balling. You got money, you rolling, you cha-ching, you got money everywhere. And now you go in there, you just balling it up and you just picking up all the candy that you want. Now that same lady that comes by in her 40s, the shopkeeper doesn't even recognize her. And the ladies, telling the shopkeeper, oh, how come I have to pay for all of this now? Well, you're no longer attractive, before I had you as a trophy wife, it was something nice to hold on to bring in the customers into my shop, but now I don't need you. You're gonna have to pay like everyone else. Now she gets upset and she wanna start a fight with the shopkeeper. That's what Paulina Parizkova looks like right now. Just took the red pill, and now she realizing how life is, and now she can no longer get those same benefits. She needs to go and get herself a job at McDonald's and get herself a career, go to school, start studying, and get your own money. Because she never got the own money by herself. All she did was show up in a bikini and a smile, and that was it. So, guys, I hope you guys learned the red pill knowledge right there. That was sexual market value in a nutshell. Just use this lady's example. A lady that was at the peak of her prime at 18, a supermodel, now getting rejected by the average Joe at the club. That's how life is. That's why, guys, you probably are the best character in this role playing game we call life because you can keep building on yourself and improving with upgrades, and eventually you get to reach the top. And if you're rich and you stay rich, you plateau and you stay at the top, and you can still pick up girls in your 50s and 60s. You know, just ask what Jamie Foxx. You know, just ask a lot. You know, a lot of these actors, these people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, still picking up girls in their 20s. Women can't do that. So I know in the beginning, guys, it looks like women are winning. Yes, that's how it seems. But around the 35, 40 year mark, that's when everything crisscross and you have the opportunity. But that has to make sure that, guys, you can end up a bum. If you stay as a bum at 18, 19, 20, and you're at 50, 60, and you still a bum, you still can't pick up these girls that are high value. So it's up to you to make your own value, guys. This is William from Negronomy. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Join my Patreon. See the comments down below. And that's all I got to say about this video. Bye-bye.